I am sitting out here by Buskin Lake. My husband is behind me somewhere over this area somewhere, and he is fishing. We were going to take the boat out, and we found before we went out that it needed a little repair, and so it's wiser to not go in the freezing cold water and to instead do some shore fishing and shore knitting. So I thought I would spend a few moments with you, kind of keeping all of these bugs company. I don't know if you can see all of them, but it really is an absolutely beautiful place to sit and just enjoy. You can see the furthest mountain over there is Pyramid, and it really does have a striking peak on this side, but when you look at it from this way coming, it actually looks like a very very symmetrical, beautiful pyramid. I am excited to sit and share a few moments with you knitting and to just enjoy this peaceful spot. I think I might, in just a little bit, actually take you over a bit further that way so you can see the view over there. It's a beautiful day. It's very warm, and despite the fact that you're seeing a lot of snow in the background on the tops of the mountains, it is the warmest day that we've had all year. And tomorrow is the 1st of May, so it's kind of nice to have spring starting to kind of come on and kind of just introduce itself to us. It seems like it's been a long time since we've had the warmer weather, but I've rather come to enjoy the winters. So let me share with you a little bit about what I'm knitting. And also I brought my journals. I'd like to share with you a bit about this journal. As you can tell, I tried to color coordinate my journaling and my knitting. Oh, I'm sorry, little. I think this is actually a bee, and I think he's just waking up, and I inadvertently squashed him. There. So I just wanted to show you a little bit of my journal, and I'll get some closer shots so you can see it. But what I've done for this is gone on a bit of a journey with this one. This sweater is a great beginner first sweater. If you can knit and you can purl, you are more than qualified to knit a sweater. If you just know how to knit or you only know how to purl, I'm pretty sure you could knock out a sweater as well. But what I thought was interesting is you can start out and have a plan in mind for your knitting. And this is what I did. I had kind of sketched an idea and tried to visualize it. I swatched a little bit. And for me, the way I swatched is I swatched by way of a hat. Not this hat, but another hat. And I swatched a hat because I knew I was going to be knitting this particular item in the round. And so I figured if I'm going to be knitting it in the round and I want to get a good accurate gauge, if I knit a hat in the same stitch pattern, it would yield the same results, right? I know you can actually, for swatching in the round, you can knit a bit and then pull a float of sorts, just a length, and then start again. And so you would continue to knit in the round while not actually knitting all the way around and creating a tube. Oftentimes people will do exactly that. For me, I had extra yarn and I wanted to play around with it and see what the texture felt like, see what it kind of presented itself to be as I went on with the knitting. I wanted to experiment a little bit with the hem, and I even utilized the decreases for the crown as some experimental decreases for some shaping on the sweater itself. So just an idea if you are ever thinking about the cumbersomeness or the boredom that most people often associate with swatching. If you just approach it from a utilitarian bent or angle, that creating a swatch is helpful for you. It's also an opportunity for you to brainstorm and to experiment, and you can hear the float plane, and discover alternate ways to do things. I think once you accept the fact that swatching is super helpful for you as a knitter, then it kind of frees you up. It liberates you to approach the swatching in a variety of ways. Oh, yeah, it's right overhead. I was going to say, I can hear it. Oh, the sun. It's been so long since I've been blinded by the sun. So the float planes will traffic through this way. The lake is here, and then off towards this way is actually the sea. And then there's the harbor, and it's a perfect day. I mean, obviously, it's just an absolutely beautiful day to go out and get up in the air and see Kodiak from above. So anyways, one of the things I did, and I think it's worth sharing, is when I am going to knit a project and I'm trying to experiment with it and kind of get a feel for what I'm doing. I just explained how I like to swatch, and one of the ways I like to swatch is, find a way to enjoy it, which I really do. I enjoy swatching. The other thing that I like to do is capture some thoughts as to what my initial response is to the yarn, what I'm feeling towards it, what it's like. I keep a little bit of the yarn in my journal so I can look back at it and kind of be inspired by it. And I am not very good at all in sketching or drawing. I have a friend, her name's Sophie, and she in the past has drawn and sketched things for me because she's really gifted and wired for successful sketching. And then I have another friend who is amazing with watercolors, and her name's Kate. Me, I'm not. I can doodle a little bit. And so what I did was I did one iteration, and I jotted down some notes as to what I was hoping this would become. I love a good, sturdy journal. I think they're a lot of fun. It's nice to have colorful ones. But another thing that I use is just very simple. This is just a thin little lined, the back of it is just lined paper. And this is great too for me jotting down ideas and keeping a record of what I'm doing. So that's something I like to do. This is quite a lot of fun. I've been enjoying it. I'm absolutely in love with the colors. The colors really reflect, you are sitting on a tree that has a lot of moss on it, and the undertone of the moss is this really reddish color. I don't know if it's coming out right here, but the grass, as it starts to dry up here, you can see it in the reflection here and in the mountain here, kind of has that orange undertone. And in weeks ahead, Kodiak is going to become vibrant and bright green, and I will miss the browns and the grays and the whites, but they'll be back. And I'll have a sweater that will remind me of the autumnal colors. One thing I thought I'd share is, here's the yarn. I shared in a chat with my friend Kate about this really unique thing here. It actually will sit down and stay seated. And it holds the yarn, and I can use it. And what I said is I like to use it as like an anchor, and it kind of keeps me anchored for this part of this next journey of knitting, where my project is going to be getting a little bit big, almost too big to bring out. I probably won't bring it out on hikes anymore. And so I went ahead and put it on this, and it kind of gives me something to look forward to when I sit inside the home and I'm knitting, because I do really enjoy taking my knitting out with me and to spend time sitting outdoors knitting, whether it's on the lake when we're in our kayak or as we are now sitting on the shore. But there does come a point where it just isn't feasible for me to carry my projects out in this wonderful terrain. They get big, and it gets a little cumbersome. So to make up for that, I have this fun anchor to give me just something sweet and something fun to kind of take the sting out of not being able to take my knitting along any further. I am going to come a little bit closer because I want to share with you a sock that I'm knitting before our time here is done. It's a pattern that I am knitting. It's one of Summerly Knits sock patterns, and I believe it's called the Hypnotic Sock. I've gotten one started. I'm really enjoying it. Both yarns have a cashmere blend, and they're just decadent for your feet. So I'm going to come a little bit closer. Hopefully I won't disrupt these bugs any further. They are really, I don't know if you guys can see them. Can you see them zipping through? You'll probably, once I sit down, you'll probably see them more. Got my hot water bottle. It's so cozy. I love having it when we're on the lake. Because the water, what temperature do you think the water is here, Dennis? Yeah, so it's 40 degrees. So when you're on the water for an extended amount of time, it does kind of seep into the kayak. We have an inflatable, it's a rigid hull inflatable kayak, and I love it. Love it, highly recommend it if you're in the market for a kayak. But the water bottle, I'll set behind my back, or I set it on my lap when we're out on the water. It is flat, calm. Obviously, you can see that. Not a breeze. Today would be the perfect day to go out on the water. I'm a little bummed that we can't. But what a beautiful view for us to sit and enjoy together, right? So here is the start of my sock. I turn it a little bit so you can see it. Let's see. It is a hypnotic sock, not just because of the stripes going this way and then the diagonal, but what happens is after I continue knitting here, so I've gotten this, you can see the kind of the twisting or spiraling pattern. Once I put these stitches on a bit of waste yarn, the pattern is going to shift, and the pattern is going to go directionally the opposite way. And so it's not zigzags the whole way, but it kind of zigs and then it zags. So this one's really fun. These are knit in the base is Space Cadet Yarns Aurora, and I have used other dyers yarns before that have cashmere in it, and sometimes they're about 10% cashmere, and it feels really soft. This yarn is 20% cashmere, and you wouldn't think 10% to 20% would have much difference. There'd be a big variation. My friend, that is not at all the case. 10% to 20%, it is so soft. It's just ridiculously soft. And I know I say this all the time and I have the best intentions, but I think these socks, because the yarn is so soft and I'm enjoying it, I'm not going to knit them fast, obviously. I'm not a fast sock knitter. I can knit a sweater a lot faster than I can knit a sock. Not a pair, just a sock. And I don't know why that is, but the yarn, I love the yarn so much and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm fairly convinced I will probably make this a pair. Summer Lee Knits is the name of the pattern design. So her name is Summer Lee, and it's Summer Lee Knits. She's on Instagram. She's fabulous. She is obsessed with socks and colorful, fun things, and I just really enjoy her. She's a wonderful human. She's very happy about knitting socks, and she has in fact inspired me to have a good time with them. What's really fun is this little double pointed needle holder. This came from Little Skein in the Big Woods. It was her, she had it included in one of her Beatrix Potter kits that I received. And it's just really a great way to keep your little needles, little mushrooms on it. It snaps and the double points stay in here and keep me safe so all my stitches don't fall off. Now the the journal for this one looks like this. I was supposed to start in March. I didn't. I had planned to start these socks in March, and then I wound up waiting until April. And one of the things I did for this is just to show you guys. All these bugs, can you see him crawling? They're everywhere. It's no joke. People always laugh and say, I've heard that in Alaska there are a lot of bugs. You know, when you go fishing, that the mosquitoes are big enough, they'll pick you up and carry you away. My friend, this is true. So what I love about my journal is I started with the Fleur De Lis Socks, and I share this, you know, I'm capturing all my thoughts as I'm knitting them, and I'm so glad that I had this journal, because what happens is I switched, and instead of test knitting her Fleur De Lis socks, my friend Chloe, she and I were knitting them together, and we were going to share our ideas together. Instead, I didn't vibe with those socks, not because of the pattern, but because of the colors I'd picked out. I went through a couple of different options, and then I went with the yarn that I showed you. So what I did is I saved the tag. This is something I like to do. It tells all the information. I made a little pocket, just washi tape and a note card, and I tucked in bits of the, I have one on my nose. I think he's in my eye. There. I just took a little bobbin of each of the yarns and I tuck them in here. And if you've never secured a little bit of yarn for posterity, I encourage you to maybe try doing that, because if you wind up getting a hole or a part wears out on your socks, some people are fine with mismatch color patching, but you could also use a little bit. I am going to get up and go walking. I've enjoyed my time with you, but I have not enjoyed the time with all of these little critters, and I am ready to get up and go. So, plus, I usually don't talk to you guys for this long. This has been 20 minutes. I've run out of things to say. It's a beautiful day. I need to go hike. There's a hill over there. I want to get up there and hike up and look at the view from up there. Maybe I'll share it with you. Thanks so much for joining me. I just realized I didn't introduce myself. If you've sat around this long visiting with me, my name is Melissa. I'm Mel, or Mski Knits on Instagram. I have a blog, and that's where I'm going to be spending a lot more of my time on my blog and my website, sharing these videos and recording my thoughts with you. I do post on Instagram, but I find that I have been missing all of the time that I used to devote to long writing. I was going to say longhand writing, but just capturing my thoughts in longer form. And you can find me at EncourageBetter.com. There's some free patterns on there. Definitely subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram, or join on the email subscriber list. That is where I do a lot of my communicating. Free patterns get sent out there. And in weeks ahead, there are going to be some fun things that I'll be sharing, and subscribers will hear about it first. Just because it's fun. It's fun to have a group of people that you know are interested in what you want to share. So if you're interested, share with me you. That's right. Tell me a little bit about you, where you're from, what you're knitting. You can share in the comments below, anywhere you're watching this. You can tell me if you counted how many bugs you saw flying around. Anyways, I hope that your day is filled with joy and happiness, and that you realize that you are such a treasure. And I bet if you were sitting here with me, all of these fuzzy little, I want to say they're bees, would be swarming around you, letting you know what a wonderfully sweet person you are too. So until next time, enjoy your knitting, and I look forward to connecting with you.